Hello and welcome to a new video. I'm Vanguard and today we'll be going through all of the biggest upcoming indie games of 2018 and beyond. These are some really visually unique and promising looking titles to come and looks quite exciting. But without further ado, let's get right into it. RITE of ILK is an upcoming local and online cooperative exploration adventure puzzle video game developed and published by Turtle Neck Studios. The game revolves around the lives of two sacrificed children who are bound together by a rope, making it a big part of the strategic gameplay, and are forced to venture through the unknown lands to save their tribe from extinction. It is set to be released for the PS4, Xbox One, Windows PC and Switch console sometime in 2019. Halibut is an upcoming narrative adventure video game about a janitor on a giant spaceship that is stranded deep under the surface of a water planet. Probably the biggest thing worth noting is the visual style and presentation of the game, where it's all entirely handcrafted through 3D scanning, in a stop-motion style of animation. So far we don't know too much about it, but I certainly look forward to more information in the future.
Cleaning up the paint!
Sometimes I do wonder what life would have been like on Earth.
The Last Night is an upcoming 2.5D cinematic platform game being developed by Old Tales and to be published by Raw Fury. The player controls Charlie, a person living in a lower class life among the rest of the society that's living in an era of leisure, and where technology have otherwise taken over all menial work. You'll be able to explore the city, interact with civilians, play in gunfights and stealth environments. It is expected to be released worldwide sometime in 2018 on Microsoft Windows, macOS, Linux and Xbox One. Banner Saga 3 is an upcoming tactical role-playing video game that features turn-based combat in a world inspired by Norse mythology and Viking culture. It has been developed by Story and published by Versus Evil. This will be the final installment in the trilogy of games that originally began in 2014, and players in this game are tasked with exploring the darkness. The third entry is set to release for Windows PC and macOS on July 24, 2018.
Kiwi's a battle-hardened warrior, an unlikely ally from the other side, who wants to see the world saved for the same reasons you do. Kiwi carries with him a hammer and chisel, the tools of a sculptor, which is what he claims to be. Furthermore, make amends with the Dredge by flying exclusive heraldry with
Ashen is an upcoming action role-playing video game that is being developed by Aora44 and published by Annapurna Interactive. The game is set in a sunless world and tells the story of a character seeking a home. Gameplay is described as an open world with exploration, RPG and multiplayer elements, with many unique monsters and enemies to battle against. The game is presented in a third-person view, with a muted cel-shaded graphic presentation. Scheduled to be released for Xbox One and Microsoft Windows in 2018.
Faint and vulnerable. We will live in the new light rather than just survive in the dark.
Next up is Tunic, originally named Secret Legend, an upcoming action-adventure video game developed by Canadian indie developer Andrew Shadice and published by Finji. The game is played in an isometric view, allowing players to maneuver their character, an anthropomorphic fox, around the game's world, interacting with objects and fighting against enemies. If necessary, the players can switch to more of a top-down view in combat, and is both inspired and structured similar to The Legend of Zelda. The game is expected to release for Microsoft Windows and Xbox One. Vane is an upcoming single-player game being developed by ex-members of the Last Guardian team at Friend and Foe. You play as a boy with a mysterious and strange ability, stuck in a dangerous environment. The game focuses on unraveling the mysteries of the unknown land, via exploration, puzzle solving and other features yet to be revealed in an atmospheric and powerful setting. Announced way back in 2014, it is set for a release for PC on an unknown date.
But there are some small mechanisms that if you can get enough birds with you, if you can kind of build up some numbers, you might be able to do something. Especially the section of the game that takes place before this has a lot of that type of interaction. It came across sort of like a feeling and an atmosphere, and we wanted to build from that. And so it was sort of about like coming up with a look and then working backwards and sort of putting gameplay into that. And it was this sort of like this idea of the bird transforming into
Children of Morta is a recently funded Kickstarter, a hack-and-slash roguelike adventure video game starring Bexon family. For years the Bexon enjoyed a peaceful life, a family raising their children to become guardians one day. But their peaceful god suddenly disappears, corruption comes to the mountains and life as they knew changes. Anxious to know what happened, the family sets deep into the mountains with many dangers along the way, releasing for Windows PC, macOS and Linux.
Adventure.
Gambit is an upcoming 2D action role-playing video game being developed by RITE and to be published by Adult Swim Games. The protagonist makes a deal with death that if he roams about the world and kills off other immortals, he himself will become immortal. As an agent of death bound to his services, players explore the alien medieval planet filled with beasts, knights and horrors, also facing off against terrifying creatures that reaches the sky. Set to release sometime this year on the PS4 and Windows PC.
Nothing to preserve their immortality. Death is a matter of principle. Don't forget that.
See of Solitude is an upcoming adventure video game being developed by Joe May Games and published by Electronic Arts as a part of their Originals program. The players control a young woman named Kay as she explores the abandoned submerged city that's actually inspired by Berlin and its creature in order to reveal why Kay herself turned into a monster. The game is meant to be an emotional story-driven experience, expected to be released in early 2019.
To run. A new day.
Dead Cells is an upcoming roguelike Metroidvania hybrid video game being developed by Motion Twin and currently in early access testing. The players control a mass of cells that occupy and control a body of its deceased prisoner at the start of each game. As they explore the series of dungeons and fight against the creatures within, they collect weapons, armors, abilities, power-ups and money. It is currently available for early access on Windows, Mac and Linux, with plans to bring it to the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One consoles by August 2018. Narita Boy is an upcoming retro pixel adventure video game developed by Studio Koba. It was a Kickstarter funded in April 2017. It will be a classic 2D side action scroller with new exotic time and dimension jump mechanics, as well as RPG elements. The plot and visual style pays homage to the 80s retro generation of presentation. It takes place in a futuristic world where you're on a quest to find the Techno Sword and save the kingdom. It is unknown when and what platform this game will release as. Sky is a beautiful upcoming game that is being developed by That Game Company, which was a wonderful title of the PS3. This will be their fourth project and will be a mobile multiplayer third-person adventure game described as a mobile social experience. It is planned for a 2018 release, with a timed exclusive on iOS devices. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is an upcoming platform adventure Metroidvania video game developed by Moon Studios and to be published by Microsoft Studios. It is the sequel to the 2015 title Ori and the Blind Forest, which was a fantastic title. Players assume control of Ori, a white guardian spirit. To progress in the game, players are tasked to move between platforms and solve puzzles like in the previous entry. There will of course be new abilities. The game is scheduled to be released in 2019 for Windows and Xbox One. Below is an action-adventure roguelike game played from a top-down perspective, developed and published by Capybara Games. The game focuses on exploration as a tiny warrior on a mysterious island. It was first announced way back in Microsoft's E3 2013 press event, and was delayed a few times to polish the game instead of rushing it out, scheduled for a 2018 release for Windows and Xbox One. Finally, we have Unruly Heroes. Unruly Heroes is an upcoming beautiful looking 2D action-adventure platformer game developed and published by Magic Design Studios, which is largely staffed of former Ubisoft members who worked on games like Rayman, Prince of Persia, Assassin's Creed, and etc. It is inspired by the famous Chinese legend, A Journey to the West, better known as Monkey King Legend. The game will feature up to a 4-player co-op and online PvP mode, coming to the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. Well, that about wraps up this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.